Hi guys, this is a study guide review for Eureka Math Tennessee edition, the Module 1 assessment for 3rd grade. So if you're needing help with that content, you're in the right place. This is the first test that students will actually take this year. They've had some quizzes up until now, and all of the material that is covered on this first test have been covered on the previous quizzes. But in case you still have some areas that you're trying to help your student with, we'll dig in here and talk about some strategies. All right, number 1, which number makes the equation true? So one of the first things that we need to understand is what these things actually mean. So we talk about at the beginning of 3rd grade that in a multiplication equation, we have a number that represents groups, and then the multiplication symbol is of. We have groups of, and then we have a number that represents how many is in each group. The equal sign represents what is on this side being the same as what is on this side. So for example, in this equation, I have 4 groups of some amount, and that is the same as having 16 total. Again, 3 very important things for multiplication and division. We have a number that will always represent groups. We have a number that will always represent how many is in each. And we have a number that will always represent a total amount. Okay? In this problem, 4 represents groups. So a student could literally draw a picture that allowed them to make 4 groups. And in multiplication and division, those groups have to be equal sizes. So we talk about we have to give everybody one at a time until we give out the total amount in order to ensure they get an equal share. So if we were to do that, it would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. We practice keeping track as we do that of the amount we've given out in order to help students not miscount or make mistakes. So I've given out 4 of the 16 total items. I'm going to give out 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to record that. 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16. I have made 4 groups, and now I know how many is inside each group. There are 4 items inside each group, so I would select this answer. At this point in 3rd grade, we are not expecting students to have multiplication facts memorized. We want them to understand how to find an answer based on the parts that make up a multiplication equation. Okay, down here we have some multiplication and division. The same thing holds true. We don't expect students to know these by heart. Instead, we want them to understand what these operations are asking them to do. Just as multiplication has groups, how many is in each group, and a total amount, division also has those things. But one of the things we talk about in 3rd grade is that division always starts with a total. So when I'm doing a division equation, the total will always be the first amount. I will divide it either into groups or into how many was in each group. So this can vary. And then whatever I don't use would be the other portion. So for example, if I have a total amount and I divide it into groups, my answer would be how many was in each group. If I have a total amount and I said I have this many in each, the answer or my quotient would be how many groups it made. Let's dig in. 7 groups of 5. Groups of how many was in each? I have 7 groups of 5. I could draw 7 groups and put 5 things in each, or a more efficient strategy would be simply to skip count by 5s 7 times. I'm going to draw 7 lines to help me with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Essentially, I've made 7 groups that I'm going to use to put 5 skip counting. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. 7 times 5 is 35. If this doesn't make sense to your child, feel free to have them draw the picture every single time. That is perfectly all right at this point in the year. Next, 10 items divided into 2 each or 2 groups. Okay? If I divide 10 total items into 2 groups, I'm going to again give 1 to each group until I have given out all my items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 5 items in each group. 10 divided into 2 groups gave me 5 things in each group. 10 divided by 2 was 5. 12 divided by 4. This time, instead of doing 2 groups, let's do our total, because division always starts with the total. Divided into how many is in each group. I have 12 total things, and I'm going to put 4 things in a group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That means my answer will tell me how many groups I had. When I look at the picture, I have 1, 2, 3 groups. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Last, we have 8 groups of 3 things each. Again, I could draw 8 groups and put 3 things in each, or I could skip count by 3s 8 times. For the sake of efficiency, I think I'm going to skip count. 1, I need to do that 8 times, so I'm going to draw 8 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I'm going to skip count by 3s. If your child still does not have skip counting by 3s down, they could also draw 3 things to help them keep track. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. As I continue, I would have 15, 18, 21, 24. So 8 times 3 was 24. As you can see, a lot of work to represent these. We don't expect students to have them by heart. Number 3. Pablo puts photos in his photo album. He puts the photos in 3 rows of 6. Again, multiplication is groups of, and how many was in each group. In this sentence, it told me I have 3 rows. Here's a row, here's a row, here's a row. Rows are my groups. And then it said I have rows of 6. Of how many are in each row? There are 6 things in each row. The question is, how many photos does Pablo put in his photo album all together? I need to figure that out. The total. They say draw an array to represent the problem. An array has rows and it has columns. In this story, it asked us to draw 3 rows. 1, 2, 3. And then it has instructed us to put 6 things in each row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I keep track. Rows and columns. So the next row as I go across, I want to make sure that I have them lined up. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Now, if you're like me, when you start drawing those cross lines, you may have come down here and you can get distracted and think, oh, I should keep going. We have to remind ourselves we only have 3 rows. To help myself, I'm going to just erase those extra lines. I wanted to find out the total amount. I feel like I have, but I'm going to keep going. Let's look down here. Which equations can be used to solve this problem? Okay, we said we had 3 groups of 6 things each, and we found out that was the same as 18. The first thing I'm going to do is look for 3 groups of 6 that equals 18. But as I go through here, that's not one of my choices. Then I think about if I were to flip my groups and say I have 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, 5 groups, 6 groups. I could say I have 6 groups that each have 3 things in them, and that is still the same as having 18 total circles. Here is an equation that makes sense. 6 times 3 is 18. Okay? Then I think to myself, what other options do I have? Division always starts with the total. I found out that 18 was the total amount. When I look at this division equation, it does not start with the total. I could mark that answer out. When I look at the next one, it said I had 3 groups of 3 things each.